is Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa. The story of resurgent and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel. Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa.
Hello and greetings, I'm Farol Namak from POA News. We highlight inspiring stories and key moments that are shaping Africa. Let's begin with Ethiopia and China partnership. Ethiopia and China have reaffirmed their long-standing partnership, recently elevated to an all-weather strategic cooperation relationship during talks between Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. Prime Minister Abiy said he welcomed Wang Yi and reflected on the enduring ties between the people and governments of both countries. Discussions focused on strengthening development, cooperation, and reaffirmed a shared commitment to advancing Ethiopia's development agenda. The two sides reviewed opportunities to deepen collaboration in key sectors including the economy, trade, infrastructure, energy, and transportation. They also explored expanding cooperation in emerging areas such as e-commerce, the digital economy, artificial intelligence, and green energy, highlighting the evolving scope of Ethiopia-China relation. The visit reflects the continued partnership between Ethiopia and China and their commitment to deepening diplomatic relations. Wang Yi's visit to Ethiopia is part of a broader week-long tour of African countries which also include Somalia, Tanzania, and Lesotho, running from January 7 to 12, according to a statement from China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The future of China-Africa relation must be firmly anchored in the lives and aspirations and creativity of ordinary people, Ethiopian President Taye Asqe-Selassie said today during the official launch of the 2026 China-Africa Year of People-to-People Exchange. Speaking at the African Union headquarters, President Taye said the initiative marked a new era of public diplomacy and social-cultural rejuvenation that would deepen bonds between diplomacy and infrastructure to the human level. President Taye described China's Africa ties as a historic partnership rooted in dignity, equality, and shared struggles, noting that people-to-people exchanges were now essential to withstand global uncertainty and polarization.
The launch of China-Africa Year of People-to-People Exchange symbolizes a new era of public diplomacy and social cultural rejuvenation. China's remarkable achievements from poverty eradication to technological revolution serve as an inspiration to Africa as we aspire economic self-reliance and technological autonomy. China's investment has also driven growth and supported Africa's modernization, fostering a robust relationship, which is evident in the China-Ethiopian relationship marked with an all-weather strategic partnership.
He praised China's development achievements from poverty eradication to technological innovation as a source of inspiration for Africa's quest for economic self-reliance and modernization. Emphasizing Ethiopia's own all-weather strategic partnership with China, he called for expanded cooperation in green development, renewable energy, digital economy, and technology transfer, particularly to empower Africa's youth and women. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi, addressing the gathering, conveyed a congratulatory message from President Xi Jinping, who described the exchange year as a historic consensus reached with African leaders to mark 70 years of China-Africa diplomatic relations. Wang Yi said people-to-people ties form the most solid foundation of China-Africa friendship, highlighting achievements in youth leadership forums, vocational training through Luban workshops, cultural exchanges, film and television cooperation, and growing tourism links.
We need to focus on development and walk side by side towards modernization. We need to jointly pursue modernization with 6 features. This will be the overall guidance. Actively implement outcomes of the FOCAC Forum, and further combine people-to-people exchanges with practical cooperation. China will continue to open up unilaterally towards Africa. We do believe the 100% tariff line, zero tariff treatment, once fully implemented, will help drive Africa's export to China and its development of industries and technologies, and enable China's big market to become major opportunities for Africa.
He outlined 4 proposals for the future, jointly pursuing people-centered modernization, expanding mechanisms that directly benefit citizens, strengthening mutual learning on governance, and upholding openness, inclusiveness, and multilateral cooperation to safeguard the interests of the Global South. African Union Commission Chairperson Mahmoud Ali Yusuf welcomed the initiative as a fully aligned with Africa's Agenda 2063 and its 10-year implementation plan. He said China-Africa cooperation through the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation had supported Africa's progress in infrastructure, energy, and social sectors, while promoting balanced trade and mutual respect under the Belt and Road Initiative. Yusuf underscores the importance of dialogue among peoples, civil society participation, and multilateral solidarity at a time when global order faces mounting strain.
The partnership between China and Africa has still its best days in front of it, and all its specialized organs have to capitalize through FOCAC and to tap and harness the outcomes, and in the win-win situation for the Chinese and African peoples. 2.8 billion inhabitants from the two groups, in fact, can weigh heavily in making international decisions. That is, very soon Africa may reach 2.5 billion inhabitants, and it is a force that has to be reckoned with.
Quoting the late writer Maya Angelou, Yusuf noted that partnerships endure when they are built on respect and genuine concern for people. He said the combined demographic and political weight of China and Africa could significantly influence global decision-making if anchored in unity and shared purpose. The launch of the 2026 China-Africa Year of People-to-People Exchange signals a renewed commitment by both sides to place citizens at the heart of their partnership, using culture, education, innovation, and shared values to shape a more inclusive future for China, Africa, and the wider Global South. Zimbabwe has extended humanitarian assistance to Malawi following severe floods that displaced communities and damaged critical infrastructure, demonstrating its commitment to regional solidarity and Pan-African cooperation. The handover held at Tapa Building was officiated by Zimbabwe's Vice President Colonel Mohadi and coordinated through the Zimbabwe International Aid and Development Program. As part of the support, Zimbabwe donated 1,000 tons of grains, with additional contribution from the private sector and civil society, including blankets, clothing, tents, and medical supplies. Vice President Mohadi emphasized that Zimbabwe stands with Malawi as neighbors, partners, and family. Despite facing its own climate-related challenges, Malawi's ambassador to Zimbabwe, General Peter Andrew Lapken Namatanga, expressed gratitude on behalf of the government and people of Malawi for the timely and meaningful gesture. The assistance reflects Zimbabwe's constitutional commitment to regional cooperation and the program's mission to provide humanitarian support beyond the country's borders.
In Ethiopia, more homes and businesses now have access to electricity. Access to power supports education, healthcare, and local businesses. Light changes lives.
Decades after local extinction, Uganda has reintroduced rhinos into the wild, and a move conservationists say have described as a historic moment. 4 southern white rhinos were released into Ajai Wildlife Reserve in Madai Okoloko district, northwestern Uganda. The Ugandan Wildlife Authority, a state-run conservation agency, said in a statement issued Wednesday. According to UWA, critical infrastructure has been instated across the reserve to support the rhino reintroduction program. The installation includes an electric fencing system, ranger outposts to enhance surveillance, and a rapid response and water supply network serving both the sanctuary and the wider reserve. UWA Executive Director James Muzegui described the reintroduction of rhinos into the wild as a new chapter in the country's conservation journey. By 1965, Ajai Wildlife Reserve supported about 60 of Uganda's remaining 80 rhinos. However, the population was wiped out by the early 1980s due to rampant poaching and prolonged insecurity, according to UWA. Uganda launched a rhino recovery program in 2005 with the introduction of 6 rhinos at Ziwa Rhino Sanctuary. Nigeria is positioning itself as a key economic hub connecting Europe and Africa, guided by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda and its 4D foreign policy approach. This vision also drives Nigeria's role in regional economic leadership, including its convening of the West African Economic Summit, promoting regional integration and private sector-led growth. Speaking from Madrid, Foreign Minister Yusuf Mayatama Tugur engaged with leaders of the Spanish Confederation of Employers Organizations, highlighting Nigeria's reform-driven economy, priority investment sector, and strategic role as a gateway to West and Central Africa, aligning with broader regional economic objectives. Nigeria has been steadily implementing economic reforms designed to reinforce its role as a regional and continental hub. Under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, the government has prioritized policies that support private sector growth, improve infrastructure, and create a more business-friendly environment. These environments aim to attract foreign investment and position Nigeria as a leading destination for trade and commerce in Africa. In addition to domestic reforms, Nigeria has strengthened its engagement with regional and international partners to promote economic integration. Moving on to business news, the Executive Board of the International Monetary Fund has approved Benin's request to extend its current financing arrangements under the Extended Fund Facility, Extended Credit Facility, and the Resilience and Sustainability Facility until February 28, 2026. The extension will give the Beninese authorities additional time to complete the 7th and final review of the EFF and ECF programs, as well as the 4th and final review under the RSF arrangements. It will also allow space to prepare the ground for possible future engagement between Benin and the fund. Benin's EFF and ECF arrangements were originally approved on July 8, 2022, for a period of 42 months, with total financing equivalent to 391% of the country's IMF quota. The programs were designed to support macroeconomic stability, fiscal consolidation, and structural reforms while protecting social spending. According to the IMF, the additional time will enable the authorities to finalize programs, assessments, and consolidate reform already underway while laying the basis for any future program discussions. The African Development Bank has highlighted the circular economy as a catalyst for Africa's sustainable industrial growth at the 7th United Nations Environment Assembly, held under the theme, Advancing Sustainable Solutions for a Resilient Planet. Speaking at the event, AFDB Vice President Kevin Kariuki said, circular approaches can align environmental protection with economic transformation, strengthening global value chains, and supporting Africa's clean energy and digital transitions. Discussions at the UNEA7 identified Africa's circular economy as a $546 billion annually opportunity with the potential to create more jobs, specifically 11 million jobs by 2030, particularly in sectors such as construction, food systems, plastics, textiles, electronics, and mining. The AFDP noted that better resources and material management could reduce emissions, lower dependence on imports, increase local value addition, and attract new investment. On the sidelines of the Assembly, the bank also held talks with partners including Finland and the UN Development Programme to advance cooperation on circular economy and renewable energy initiatives across Africa. Moving on to sports news, the Moroccan National Tourist Office is inviting travel influencers, tour operators, professional associations, and international journalists to experience Morocco during the Africa Cup of Nations 2025. The initiative showcases Morocco as a modern and dynamic destination capable of hosting major international sporting events. Guests from the United States, Spain, France, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, Italy, and Belgium will enjoy stadium access, visit key infrastructure, and explore Morocco's diverse tourism offerings. The effort aims to boost the country's international profile, attract high-spending visitors, and highlight the connection between sports, culture, tourism, and infrastructure. The initiative supports broader strategies including road shows in Africa and Europe, additional flights, and the screening of the film Morocco, Land of Football in 12 countries. In April 2025, the Royal Moroccan Football Federation and the Moroccan National Tourist Office signed an agreement to position Morocco as a top football and tourism destination by 2030. That's all for this hour, and thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.